Have you ever loved two people at the same time and lost them both in one moment? If heartbreak had a face, I wore it the day my husband died, saving the man I was cheating on him with. This is not just a confession. It's the story of how love, guilt, and betrayal can live inside the same heartbeat. And if you're watching this, maybe a part of you knows that pain too. Hit subscribe button if you believe real stories deserve to be heard. No filters, no lies. I met Emmanuel when I was 21. He wasn't the kind of man that made heads turn in a room, but he had a quiet strength, a warmth, a man who held doors open for strangers and memorized my coffee order to the smallest detail. We married within 2 years. Everyone said we were perfect. Two old souls who found each other in a noisy, reckless world. For the first 5 years, they were right. We built a life of slow Saturdays, inside jokes, quiet dinners, and long drives with no destination. We were happy, or at least I thought we were. But something shifted. Maybe it was the routine. Maybe it was me. Or maybe love sometimes just softens into something less. Something more like loyalty than passion. We stopped surprising each other. Our conversations turned into updates. Did you pay the bills? What time will you be home? And in the silence between our words, something in me began to ache. That's when I met Malik. Malik was everything Emmanuel wasn't. Loud, charismatic, spontaneous, the kind of man who walked into a room and owned it. I met him through work. He was a client. Our first interaction was professional, but the spark? Immediate. I fought it for months, but late nights turned into long lunches, and long lunches turned into touches that lingered longer than they should have. I told myself lies. Emmanuel and I were growing apart. I needed someone who saw me, but the truth is, I was selfish. Malik made me feel alive. With him, I laughed in ways I hadn't in years. He noticed things, how I wore my hair differently, how I bit my lip when nervous. He gave me attention that felt like oxygen in a life that had begun to suffocate me. The affair lasted 9 months. 9 months of hiding, lying, rehearsing fake smiles when I walked into the house Emmanuel and I shared. 9 months of pretending I was still the woman he married. But I never planned to leave Emmanuel. Malik was a thrill, a fantasy. Emmanuel was home. Safe, predictable, steady, and I thought I could have both until the universe intervened. It was a stormy evening. The sky cracked open with thunder, as if foreshadowing what was to come. I had planned to meet Malik at a hotel, one last time. I had told Emmanuel I was working late, but Emmanuel showed up at the hotel. To this day, I don't know if he followed me, or if God had some twisted sense of timing. What I do know is that a fire broke out in the building. Something about a short circuit in the elevator shaft. Alarms blared. Panic everywhere. I was on the 9th floor with Malik. Emmanuel was in the lobby. He saw my name at the check-in desk. He ran upstairs. People were rushing down the stairwells as he pushed upward. Every step he took was fueled by love, anger, disbelief, and maybe hope. When the smoke filled our hallway, Malik panicked. I froze. Emmanuel burst into the room, coughing, eyes wild with fear and betrayal. But he didn't yell. He didn't even ask why. He just said, "We need to go. Now." The fire was spreading. We tried to escape down the stairs, but a part of the staircase had collapsed. We broke a window. Emmanuel helped me down first. He tied together bed sheets and lowered me to the fire crew waiting below. Then Malik. When it was Emmanuel's turn, the rope snapped. He fell 3 stories. He didn't die instantly, but by the time I reached him at the hospital, he was gone. He used his last moments to save the man who destroyed his marriage and the woman who betrayed him. I wish I could tell you that Malik and I found comfort in each other, but he left the country a week after the funeral. I never heard from him again. I wish I could say Emmanuel's family forgave me. But they didn't, and they shouldn't. Some wounds don't close. They just scar. Some silences never get filled. I think about Emmanuel every day. The way he smiled when he made pancakes on Sundays. The way he always kissed my forehead before he left for work. The way he looked at me the night he died, not with hate, but with something far worse, love. Love that chose me, even when I didn't deserve it. They say grief is love with nowhere to go. But guilt? Guilt is a shadow that whispers your sins every night. I see him in dreams. I see him in strangers' faces. And sometimes, when I catch my reflection in the mirror, I wonder who I became. I wonder if the version of me he loved is even still in there. I made a choice that cost me everything. And now I tell my story not to be forgiven, but because someone out there needs to hear that even the worst mistakes don't mean you're beyond redemption. That you can carry shame and still choose to be better. That you can live in pain and still find meaning. Sometimes the realest truths are the ugliest ones. Have you ever hurt someone you truly loved? Have you lived with a silence so heavy it echoes? If this story made you feel something, anything, subscribe. Because this is just the beginning. Next time, I'll tell you the story of a woman who confessed to a crime that never actually happened. Because here on The Truth Diaries, the truth is never simple, and the pain is always real.